It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Rescue Towing, Command Family Medicine, and John's Heating and Air. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everyone. We are waking up to a bit of patchy fog across the Ozarks this morning, so you may want to plan a few extra minutes, especially if you have a lot of moisture on the ground. That's where we're seeing the dense fog across the Ozarks this morning. We've got temperatures in the mid-40s, and because of all the rain that we had over the last several days, the ground is still very soggy. No rain in the forecast today, but we may see some foggy conditions until we get to about mid-morning, until that fog is able to burn off a little bit and we can separate the ground temperature from the air temperature as we head into the rest of the day today. Overall, though, things are going to be pretty nice across the Ozarks today. We are starting off with cloud cover in the Ozarks, and I expect more of that as we go through the day. The thick fog will probably last through mid-morning, as I said, and visibility could drop below a half mile at times. So that is thick. Make sure you use the low beams, plan a few extra minutes. If you live in an area that is prone to seeing fog, well, you might just want to expect it early this morning. The cold front is through, however. We are now on the cool side of this system, and things should shape up to be pretty nice across the region today. High pressure now in control of our weather pattern. That means a dry day for us in the Ozarks. Temperatures are starting off chilly, mid-40s, but I have 65 by the time we get to the afternoon. So a nice little warm up in store for us today. And of course, all the active weather is out ahead of that same cold front that came through for us, which is now pushing off to the southeastern portion of the country. I also expect that we are going to see more rain in this forecast, but we've got a couple of dry days before that gets here. A seasonal forecast in terms of temperatures is on tap for us today. Mid-60s is pretty typical of this time of the year, and we're going to see these numbers through the rest of the week. So numbers are looking quite nice across the area. I am expecting that we see conditions that stay on the mild side as we head through late week as well. More active weather, though, is ahead for us by Friday and Saturday. I'm looking at the models and seeing another signal for some widespread rain in the Ozarks. This looks to ramp up Friday evening, lasting through most of the day on Saturday, the way things look at this point. So if you're already trying to plan your weekend, just know that it does look like we'll be dealing with some rain showers and potentially some thunderstorms again as we head into Saturday specifically. Today, 65 degrees, mostly cloudy and seasonably warm across the Ozarks. I think we're still in the 60s tomorrow. Again, another day with significant cloud cover across the Ozarks. So kind of some great conditions with the earlier sunset. It's really feeling more like fall as we move into the rest of the week. We see additional clouds and rain chances return for us by the time we get to Friday. So some of those Friday night football games may be dealing with rain this week. Heads up to that. Around the country, what's making headlines? It's gusty winds and really dry conditions happening out in California for southern and central portions of California. Fire danger is critical today. The other thing making headlines is, of course, tropical storm watches happening down for South Florida and parts of the Florida Keys. That's out ahead of Rafael. So lots going on in South Florida once again. And the East Coast is dealing with quite a bit of rainfall across the region as well. All right, it's time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister Trivia question for the day. And we are feeling the effects of that daylight saving time this week. What do you think this one was? True or false? Daylight saving time in America was originally implemented to help farmers. Well, that seems reasonable, but it is actually false. That's actually a wide misconception about daylight saving time. In fact, agriculture has long been opposed to the change. And when this happened, there were all sorts of lobbying groups for farmers and the agricultural industry that was against the time change. But it was first implemented in the United States to conserve energy during World War I. So if you hear that it was to help farmers, it actually was not. It can throw animals off their typical feeding schedule and milking schedule, which farmers were very much opposed to. So false. B is the correct answer today. All right, here's your next chance to win. I've seen so many people already decorating for Christmas. We're there. If you're already in the Christmas season, already watching some Christmas movies, you may have seen this one recently. In the movie Home Alone, what is Kevin preparing to eat when the wet bandits hit his house? Do you think it is A, cheese pizza, B, macaroni and cheese, C, ham and cheese, or D, grilled cheese? You might recognize a cheese theme there in all of those options, but do you know which one he was eating or preparing to eat when the wet bandits hit his house? If you have a guess, you can submit that over at aroundtheozarks.com. Thank you so much for listening this morning to Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. And thank you to our sponsors, John's Heating and Air, Command Family Medicine, and Rescue Towing. Have a great one. We'll chat again tomorrow.